It's almost been a year since the first episode of Frenemies aired, and ironically, it started with Ethan asking Trisha how long they think the podcast would even last.
One of my questions for you is how long do you think it's going to last? Because my thing is like, because with you, I know that like your relationships are very hot and cold.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many episodes we make before this whole thing is burned to the ground.
Unfortunately, after everything that's happened, I just can't see Frenemies ever coming back. And I think Ethan and Trisha are officially done with each other. It's a mess, so let's get into it. So we've officially reached the final chapter of the Ethan versus Trisha versus Donna versus Moses mess. The last time we talked, Ethan had pretty much just exposed Trisha, and instead of responding, Trisha said they were done with drama. Trisha started pumping out content and acting super excited like everything was okay. They were doing these insanely expensive and excessive shopping hauls, and people just knew there was going to be a really ugly downfall. Then on Sunday, a new Families episode aired, and it was titled, "What Did My Mom Text Trisha?" Now that's what everyone's been wondering. After Donna got involved in the drama last week, Trisha went on this huge rant saying Ethan's mom was never even invited to the wedding because she texted Moses something so horrible, so evil, that it was sent from the devil himself. People were like, Donna, the butterfly queen? No one was believing it. Well, since Trisha wanted to hold that text over Donna's head, she addressed it on Families. Starting off right away, you notice the change in background. They switch from the old Frenemies background to this really light and more calm backdrop, and I think that really represents how different the two podcasts are. A lot of people were kind of still holding out hope that maybe one day Frenemies would return, and that's why Ethan was keeping the same background. I think changing the background sent a huge message to Trisha and even the fans that Ethan is done and there's no going back now. Donna starts off by addressing her tweet under the picture of Keemstar and Trisha. Donna said she was just being snooty. She was just having fun and responding to the drama. As for what Donna texted Moses, Donna said she just didn't understand why Trisha didn't just post the text if it was so horrible. She feels like Trisha didn't want to post it because deep down, they knew it really wasn't that shocking. Trisha was really playing up how shockingly evil the message was. A lot of people have been speculating on what the text even was, and I think we were all on the same page. Everyone thought it had to do with Hila being pregnant and Trisha causing unnecessary stress on her already high-risk pregnancy. And that's exactly what it was.
I sent a private message on Messenger to Moses.
You texted Moses. I mean, it's not
Well,
that.
I didn't really text. Is that called texting?
Yes.
Messaging? Is that texting?
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is, everybody,
Go ahead.
This is what I wrote.
Cover your ears. This is it. The
I
worst
know.
thing
This
you've
is the
ever
most
heard.
horrible
Go
thing
ahead.
you've ever heard. Okay.
Well, it's
Moses.
okay.
Moses, if your sister has a miscarriage because of this stress, I will hold you and Trisha responsible. Stop this nonsense. Enough. That's what I wrote.
Donna explained how Hila's baby is her grandchild, and she felt really protective over that. Hila was doing these really painful injections to help her get pregnant, and she just really didn't need the extra stress of Trisha Paytas drama. And honestly, a lot of people think the text Donna sent was perfectly valid. So basically, Donna said what everyone on planet Earth was already thinking in that text. What an overblown reaction from Trisha. The message Donna messaged Moses, her son-in-law, in private. If he chose to show Trisha that, that's his choice. Well, the text was intense, as Ethan said himself. They were all thinking it, and so was I, a random stranger. That's another factor. Donna sent this message to Moses because she's known him the longest. Moses didn't have to go run and show Trisha that text word for word. He could have just talked to them and said, look, my sister's pregnant. Can we just calm down on the public drama and sort it out in person? But no. Moses had to go run and show Trisha this text message and just cause more drama within the family. Donna also had a message for Trisha, and in my opinion, given everything that's gone on, I think it was really nice.
I might not get along with you at the moment because of things that have happened, and I don't wish you any ill will. I would never curse you. I would never tell you who you should love, or I would never say, you know, to leave someone. This is your life, your choices, and, you know, relax.
Just when I thought all the drama would finally end and everyone would just move on, Trisha broke their drama-free streak that lasted maybe 48 hours. Trisha went off on Twitter like they normally do and wasn't really a fan of what was said about them on Families. They wrote, "Okay, this is not okay. I'm addressing everything this one last time. This goes beyond internet drama. This is bullying and harassment. Imagine blaming me for stressing your pregnant wife out, Ethan. You illegally uploaded pirated footage which not only got you sued, but your wife's company sued. And you have your wife sit next to you while you harass and attack every creator out there. All this because I went on a podcast?" Ethan trashed me multiple episodes after Frenemies ended. I have zero loyalty towards him, zero respect towards him. He can't admit any fault. I can't wait to see who they blame in regards to their Thriller lawsuit. Sure, Ethan pirated and uploaded illegal footage to the internet, which resulted in a lawsuit with him, but also Teddy Fresh. Surely Ethan can't be at fault. He never is. I cause stress, but Ethan engaging in constant drama and harassment 3 times a week on his channel, recently resulting in a strike, getting everyone involved in a lawsuit, he's innocent, always. Always find someone else to blame. I haven't even spoken one bad word about Hila throughout all of this. Not just because she's pregnant, but also because I don't have an issue with her. My issue has always been with Ethan, but he has dragged and gotten everyone in his life involved because he's a coward. The whole video is coming explaining. I didn't record a private conversation. I recorded the last episode we did on Frenemies, which we both agreed to. Why? Because Ethan lies. I need to listen back to what was said for my own reality, have trouble with delusions, and need to hear it. People in Moses Pass were heavily doxxed this week on the H3 subreddit, which they all monitor. They see this, they see the harassment and crossing a line and continue to punch down and put me in every title. I've surrendered, but the lies and harassment will not stop. It's beyond hate comments and snake emojis. Private people are getting harassed on the H3 subreddit, which has 500,000 users, and they do nothing to stop it, but continue to provoke it. It's disgusting. I've gone against bigger cults before who try and harass me into silence, and the truth always prevails. It's fine. Send all the snake and clown emojis you want. It crosses a line when their subreddit is doxing people in our lives. It's crossing the line. They see this. And continuing this hate mob, it's not okay. Ethan and Hila are seeing the doxing. They have the power to stop it by stop talking about us. I surrendered last week and they continue to put out videos. The doxing happened Friday night on their Reddit. They removed it and still put me as the title of today's podcast. It's insane. By the time Trisha started tweeting, Ethan actually blocked Trisha and tweeted, and suddenly everything was quiet. Then Trisha dropped a video titled, "I'm not staying silent on this," regarding Ethan Klein, H3, and Ethan's mom. In this video, Trisha says they think it's horrible that Ethan's mom and now Ethan stand by and support the text that Donna sent to Moses about Hila being pregnant. Trisha said there's so many other reasons a miscarriage could happen, and they think it's horrible that Donna would put that blame on Moses and her if something were to happen. Trisha says normally it happens because of a genetic defect and not because of stress. Trisha thinks Ethan should be held to the same standard because Ethan is also putting stress on Hila with his current lawsuits.
By that same logic, how come Ethan isn't held to that same standard? Continuously engaging, not only engaging, but harassing the person that's suing him. Not only is Ethan getting sued, but now the family's podcast is getting sued, and his wife's company, Hila's company, Teddy Fresh, is getting sued.
And then moving on to the whole recorded private conversations thing. Ethan said the most shocking thing to him was finding out Trisha recorded the last unaired podcast and private conversations in his house before and after filming. Now, Trisha claims they never privately recorded any conversation in Ethan's house without his permission. They claim that Ethan knew that they were recording the whole time, and they only did it because Ethan's apparently a coward and they knew he would edit it, so they had to have it for themselves. Trisha said if Ethan had to put out the podcast with bits and pieces edited out where he admitted fault, at least they would have it for proof for themselves. Trisha said Ethan sent a hate train their way just because they went on Keemstar's podcast. I mean, all Ethan did was say that he was sad, and Trisha posted like 50 TikToks, a 40-minute video, and tweeted 1,000 times. Just because more people agree with Ethan doesn't mean he necessarily sent a hate train your way. Trisha also said they have no problem with Hila and never even bring her up, but at the same time, she does sit next to Ethan and condone the things he says. Trisha said it's all gross lies, and now it's turning into harassment because this is the third video with their name in the title and said it's punching down. I guess Trisha forgets that they posted like 3 hours worth of videos about Ethan when frenemies first broke up. They've posted hundreds of TikToks, made hundreds of tweets, done tons of videos. I mean, if you added up all the time that Trisha has talked about Ethan and then added up all the time that Ethan's talked about Trisha, I guarantee Trisha still has Ethan beat by like a lot. Trisha's video currently sits at over 30,000 dislikes, and the comments definitely reflect that. Ethan admitted every time he was wrong and has apologized and stayed classy throughout all of this. You cannot own up to your own mistakes. No one believes anything you say anymore. It's sad. I started listening to H3 because of Trisha, but stayed for Ethan. You yourself got angry at Gabby for the stress that she put on Jesse during her pregnancy. You don't like Donna's words because they're true. And that's another thing. Trisha made multiple tweets talking about the stress that Gabby was putting on Jesse during her high-risk pregnancy, and Trisha clearly felt totally justified to make that connection publicly. But when Donna says it in private to a trusted family member, that makes her evil? I think it's safe to say Frenemies is never, ever, ever coming back. And at this point, I don't really think anyone wants it back. It's really sad because Frenemies was a great podcast. Trisha and Ethan had a really good dynamic between them, and let's admit it, even the drama was so entertaining. But I feel like the podcast was doomed from the start. The podcast drama quickly spilled over into their family, and that's when it became a little bit too much. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button because it really does help my channel, and I'll see you next time.